I'd been another girl, in a row of perfect girls. Another face, another body, in a line of similar faces and bodies. Symmetry and seamlessness. Every step and angle of the chin, every curve of the arm and lift of the leg. Precisely the same as the girls in front and behind. After a while, I'd begun to feel as if I'd run eagerly, wildly into a labyrinth of possibility, only to find that it was instead a straight aisle, pressed among a crowd of equally eager girls, all trying to unlock the same door at the end of this infinite corridor. And so, stuck in one place, growing stagnant and unsure, a new dream had been born. If I couldn't dance the way I wanted to, ecstatically with all eyes on me, I would run. As long as I was still in motion, my heart would keep beating, and nothing, not even death, could touch me. More. There has to be more. Coming, I called, as another knock came at the door, louder and more insistent. I turned from the window and hurried to pull on my favorite pale pink dress for church, the last dress my mother had ever made for me, a gift on the day I turned 13. A little worn around the seams and tight across the chest, but 7 years later it still fit. And I would wear it for 7 years more, as long as it didn't fall apart. I tugged on my stockings, hoping the tiny rip near the hip wouldn't reach my knees and become visible to judging eyes. Sunday was the only day of the week I wore my hair down. Shadow black and falling in bouncy spirals well past my shoulders, much longer than Mama ever used to let me keep it. Finally, I slipped on my brown penny loafers and went to the door. Mistress is here. It was Amelia, slightly breathless, even though she stood absolutely still, her dark hair set in pins to curl. It was still half an hour before we would leave for church, and she was never early for anything without a pressing reason. She asked to see you right away. She's waiting in the parlor. My heart gave a vicious kick. What do you think she wants? It was barely a whisper. We looked at each other, and both of us knew. But neither wanted to say it in case it didn't come true. The prima position, Amelia's position, would be open soon, and though it was all anyone in the Corps could talk about, I had refused even to think of it. As if my own hope was a monster that would turn me to stone if I slipped and looked it directly in the eye. I wanted the position. I burned with the wanting, the sun in my throat. And maybe that was the true reason I had not run away yet. There was still something to wish for. Prima ballerina of Near North Ballet. It was utterly impossible, and right within reach. To demand that you dance for her morning, noon, and night, Amelia said, in that way she had of teasing, while also being perfectly serious, so that she'll never have to live for even 1 second without gazing upon your unparalleled grace and beauty. I smiled. But it was more for her sake than for mine. Was it the touch of destiny I felt then? Or was it simply nerves pinching in? Of late, Mistress reprimanded me more than anyone else in the Corps, barking my name as she clapped her hands once sharply so that we stopped in a flurry, the music cutting out. She ordered us back to the beginning of the phrase each time I strayed even slightly out of formation. Each time I smiled a little more widely than the others, or spun just a smidgen too quickly. It was a failure, she'd admonished, to stand out from the Corps. Weakness, not strength.